are some people who think climate change is a hoax. It ain't a hoax. I think the last 10 years have been the warmest on record.
The Washington Post looked at it. Essentially, they found that we're in a cooling period. Scientists have captured the Earth's climate change over the last 485 million years. Here's a surprising place we stand now. So look at the far end of that graph, and you see we're in a cooling period.
So the Washington Post looked at the last 485 million years. Yes, they found that we were in a cooling period recently. And in fact, for all of human history, and even our primate ancestors going back millions and millions of years, we've been in a cooling period. And actually what that shows is that we're only adapted to a period of almost freakish cold on the Earth. And what it also shows, if you go to the very, very end of the graphic, is that it is now spiking upward really, really dramatically, like faster than it ever has in the history of the Earth, as far as we know. When the temperatures in Earth's history have spiked really dramatically, mass extinctions follow. And in fact, the fastest time that temperatures ever spiked, they went up about 10 degrees Celsius in 50,000 years. 90% of all species were wiped out off the face of the Earth. And we are now warming the planet faster than that.
The scientists who are out there, I think...
I know, but there's a lot of money involved in that too, Bernie. That's part of the problem. There's a lot of money involved in this whole climate change emergency issue.
I agree, money on sides of an issue can matter, and the colossal amount of money in this space is the fossil fuel industry. It's pretty obvious. It's a boring, in some ways, story to tell, but guess who has the most resources and who's pouring it in to influence the debate? That's big fossil fuel companies. All of climate philanthropy worldwide is estimated at maybe, $5 or $10 billion a year, maybe up to $15 billion a year. ExxonMobil last year, their revenues were almost $1 billion a day. So we're saying all money for all climate work globally is like 2 weeks of revenue for ExxonMobil alone. That's just one fossil fuel company. So if you want to talk about who's got the most money in the game and the most financial interest to protect, it's obviously big oil.
Not only that, if we're just talking about primarily carbon and carbon footprint, what are we going to do about China?
Yeah, China's the number one global climate polluter. We're number two. We should fix our own problems too while trying to get China to fix its problems. If your house is on fire and your neighbor's house is on fire, you don't just sit in your burning house and point at their house and yell about how it's on fire. You get out of your burning house.
These things like they're trying to institute in the UK where they have these 15-minute cities, this concept where you're not allowed to travel, they'll be able to look at your carbon footprint. See, that's the problem. The problem is giving people that are in power, these people that we've all discussed that have so much money and so much control over our societies, multinational corporations, giving them more control over citizens. And this is a vehicle for that. And this is what's dangerous about this whole climate change emergency.
If you want to talk about control, big oil has more control over lives than anybody. Try not using oil and gas. We're forced to fork over hundreds of billions of dollars to them every year. Our entire lives are structured around using their products. You can't get away from it if you want to. The concept of a carbon footprint was invented by BP to make individuals feel bad about climate change and make it feel like it's their responsibility, not the responsibility of big oil companies. Even something environmentalists talk about. The debate has been totally infiltrated by big oil. They have that much control. And on top of that, estimates are as high as $760 billion a year that we're subsidizing them in terms of all the tax breaks, the other subsidies, and all the costs they're putting on everybody else in terms of pollution, healthcare costs, and that kind of thing. We're locked into a system where we are subsidizing the kings of the earth right now, which is big oil.
We can all agree pollution is a terrible thing. Everyone should agree to that. The beautiful earth that sustains us and all life on this planet is being poisoned as we speak. We're killing all the fish in the ocean and sucking them out in giant numbers. 94% of all the big fish that are in the ocean are gone over the last, whatever it is.
Yeah, 90% of species have died in the Permian extinction event when global temperatures spiked really quickly, and they're spiking quicker now. We got to stop it.